welcome to episode 34 of the Comic Boot. I'm Kalen.
I'm Cody.
I'm James.
Today,
Galahad.
we discuss something that makes us want to be British so bad.
Well, it's not only that. I want to fucking... Oh, my God.
Be
My
a
name
spy.
is James, and I have grown up with James Bond movies.
Same.
To the nth degree, and today, through the wonderful suggestion of Mr. Kalen, and I have read The Kingsmen for the first time now.
I supplied it to him.
Yes.
I read it before I saw the movie.
I need to
And
borrow that.
it's
Have you read
good.
I haven't. I want to.
It's a lot different. It's nothing.
very different.
I've
Very different. But I actually, this is
The
one
movie.
of those...
This is one of those cases. You can say it.
It's one of those cases where I like the movie better, and I
The movie is
would
better.
say the same thing about Kick-Ass. It's weird. It's like Mark Millar writes this stuff, and then he goes, Matthew, here, and Matthew Vaughn's like, I can work with this, and then he just makes something better.
And then he creates exploding
Firework
smoke
heads?
bomb heads, and you're just like, oh my God, you're a fucking genius, and I love you so much right now.
Because that's such a better way, instead of just making a gruesome scene about everyone's heads blowing up, it's like fireworks. Perfect.
Yeah, and
Problem
with
solved.
the tone of the movie, it's just perfect.
And
So,
we can keep our PG-13 rating.
yeah, so what I think we kind of want to do here is we want to kind of compare and contrast, even though there's really no comparing anything. I mean, we can talk about movie and homages that Matthew Vaughn makes to the graphic novel. Or
Yes.
we can talk about the graphic novel and then talk about the movie. I mean, it's just we're just going to kind of go with it. And
I mean,
see
they're
where we
both
go.
kind of like their own separate entities.
They are. I know that in the graphic novel, we're introduced to Eggsy and Galahad and all this stuff. But
He's not called Galahad. He's called Jack London.
Right, Jack London.
I mean, what Matthew Vaughn did in this movie that I really like is that he took Kingsman, the graphic novel, and gave it a world that it could live in. Because
Yes.
in the graphic novel, there really wasn't a background like this, and it wasn't there weren't like the code names of the Knights of the Round Table.
Well, and Jack
and-
London was his uncle, and
Yeah,
like his disappearing uncle that kind of disappeared off the face of the planet and left him and his mom to
Fend for
rot.
themselves, and yeah,
And
because he was off being a spy.
yeah, well, with the movie, we're introduced to this world where Eggsy's dad was military and was a member of the program that Eggsy eventually goes through.
Well, he was
Final two.
Eggsy's dad was was part of the final two contestants to actually become a member of Kingsman.
To take over the mantle of Lancelot.
Yes.
Because in the movie, they have taken over Knights of the Round Table. Names.
The spy code names are the Knights of the Round Table.
King Arthur is Michael Caine.
Yes.
Lancelot is the guy that gets cut in half by Gazelle.
Oh, what's his name?
After he
Jack
saves
something.
Mark
Jack
Hamill.
Davenport.
Yeah, Jack Davenport plays Lancelot.
Galahad is Colin Firth.
Or his real name, Harry Hart.
Harry Hart. And then you have all the...
The other ones.
The
You
other
see
ones.
Percival,
Mark
but he
Strong
doesn't-
is Merlin.
Mark
Yeah.
Strong is Merlin.
he's like their Q.
Yeah, and then you see Percival, but...
It's a non-speaking role, so it doesn't matter.
He's
He's the one
sponsors
Every one of the
yeah.
agents picks someone to
Yeah.
replace.
and he
a
picked
candidate.
Roxy, and Roxy was a part of the final two with Eggsy, and she ended up becoming Lancelot because
Yeah.
she shot a dog.
Although
Well-
she didn't shoot a dog.
It was blanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So...
As Harry Hart puts it, it was a fucking blank.
He goes, he's like, yes, I shot a dog for a job, and I am reminded of that every time I take a shit, and it's Mr. Pickle.
is stuffed in his bathroom.
You shot your dog and then stuffed it. You're a freak.
He's like, no, I shot my dog, and then I brought him home where he lived for 11 years, and when he died of pancreatitis.
Pancreatic cancer.
Oh, he said pancreatitis.
Did he say pancreatitis?
Yeah, pancreatitis.
He just had an inflamed pancreas? Why does he get the fucking shit removed?
I don't know.
Cheap bastard. Should have just shot it when he had the chance.
And I'm reminded of every time I take a shit.
So, yeah, this movie pays a little bit of homage to things. I mean, Eggsy's mom is in a relationship with an abusive boyfriend.
Yes.
Which is in the graphic novel as well.
Yes.
There's a get-out-of-jail-free card, basically, that the uncle uses in the graphic novel that is represented by a medal that...
Colin Firth gives Eggsy when he's a kid.
When he's a kid. And, of course, Eggsy steals one of his mom's boyfriend's, I guess, gangster friend's cars. And ends up breaking into a cop car and
he's in jail, and his get-out-of-jail-free card is the medal that he now wears around his neck.
Yeah, it's Oxford's not Brogues. That's it. So
words to live by.
Yeah, and
words
so
to
Colin
live
Firth
by.
ends up meeting with him and kind of telling him the story about his dad and how his dad saved his life and jumped on a grenade and stuff. And none of that really happened in the graphic novel.
No.
But this is the world that Matthew Vaughn has created, and it fucking works, man.
Absolutely.
And if you've never seen it, just stop what you're doing and go get it. Just go watch it. Buy it. You'll want to buy it.
Yeah, this is actually a really good substitute for James Bond films.
And
It's not
we're
even
getting a
substitute.
second one.
It's literally
A replacement.
well.
If you don't like those classic retro 60s movies, or even if you don't like the Daniel Craig
period
ones,
of Roger Moore where it is just him being a man whore, and that's all the movies are, and they are terrible.
Yeah.
But you get
That's
Sean
still
Connery?
better than Timothy Dalton.
Timothy Dalton's not bad.
He was around for like 2 of them.
I know.
4. Or there was In Living Daylights. Wasn't that one of them?
The Living Daylights, License to Kill, and then he did 2 other ones. He did 4.
Was License to Kill the one with Christopher Walken as the villain?
No, that was Man with Golden Gun. Or not Christopher Walken.
No.
I'm thinking of
That's Christopher Lee.
View to a
Christopher
Kill is
Yes,
Christopher Walken.
View to a Kill. Theme song by Duran Duran.
I'm pulling up a list of James Bond movies right now.
There's like 24 of them. 24 of them.
Yeah,
Now,
Spectre's 24.
We're going to need a new James Bond, by the way, because...
Well, Daniel Craig is done
He's
after
walking
Spectre.
away.
Well, I mean, he's been done with these movies, and I mean,
They
but
made fun
Skyfall
of-
was so good.
Spectre was good too.
Spectre
though.
was good. Skyfall was good. I liked Casino Royale, even though it was kind of a shit show. But
What about
Casino-
Quantum of Solace?
Quantum of Solace was just bad.
is that the one in the desert?
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
But for doing 4 James Bond flicks and only one of them's bad, that's not bad for Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
at
especially
all.
considering
No.
the fact that the third one that Sean Connery did is hot garbage.
What was it?
Thunderball.
Oh god, Thunderball is
But
terrible.
Dr. No, Goldfinger, Thunderball.
Is that the one?
No, Goldfinger was the third one because the second one was From Russia with Love.
Is it?
The first one was.
Yeah,
Oh, the first one is The Spy Who Loved Me, right?
No,
Dr.
Doctor
No.
No.
Oh, that's right. Dr.
Spy
No
Who
was
Loved Me
the
is in
first one.
is in 77. And this all started in 62.
That was Sean
And On Her
Connery's
Majesty's
last one,
Secret
right?
Service is one of those that's just terrible.
That's
it was
the
a
one that had
one-off
George
with the
Lazenby.
Yeah, wasn't he Australian?
He looks the most like James Bond as Ian Fleming drew him.
Okay,
though.
so
Yeah.
no, that's not the one I'm talking about. That's terrible. Moonraker is fucking horrendous.
Moonraker is hot shit.
Yeah. Live and Let Die is pretty good.
Live and Let Die is great. That's the one that has Paul McCartney and Wings did the theme
Mhm.
song, but it's got Jane Seymour.
Mm.
A View to a Kill is Christopher Walken, and then Grace
Jones.
Grace Jones.
Oh yeah,
And Octopussy's really good.
that movie got such laughable jokes about it though because of the title.
Well, of
Yeah.
course.
But it's a great movie. It really is.
I did like Man with the Golden Gun, even though I don't know why Scaramanga had to have 3 nipples, but hey, it happened.
Who cares? International Man of Mystery. That's a good one.
That's Austin Powers.
Gold Member. Oh, my bad.
Oh my
bad.
god.
Those movies are funny.
Those movies are great. I really want.
I have-
Sir Quincy Jones, everyone.
You know, the giant Blu-ray collection of all the James Bond movies, I got it for $40.
I fucking hate you.
Hunter sold that to Hastings.
Yeah, actually, Hastings was having a big sale where it's like half off all used products, and we had one.
If you've never heard of
used.
Hastings, we understand.
We used to work there, but it was like half
They are
off
now
all
in
used
business.
products, and we had a used James Bond collection, so half off would be
Probably because they
$40.
were selling 22 classic movies for $40.
Because it was a part of like a one-day sale that the used products were half off.
I think you still worked. Like we all worked there. I think,
Yeah,
when
I
we
was
got
the
back.
video manager, and I noticed that James
you got
Bond
it for free.
collection was used, and it was like $40, but it was like the day before payday, and I was broke, so I had to call my mom.
You didn't hide it behind things like we always used to do in the freaking shop
I didn't
glass
have
aisle.
to, because whoever put
Or
the
print off
used
the $2.99 sticker and stick it on it.
or whoever put the used sticker
You
on
did
it,
that
put it
my
on the
first
side.
day of work there
Not my
when you
fault,
were
man.
showing me around. Go ahead, sorry.
Whoever put the used sticker,
So yeah, and then
I'm going to punch you. Never mind, fuck it, it's
No,
ruined. Back to
anyways.
fucking Kingsmen.
Finish your story really quickly. I'm curious now.
Whoever put the used sticker on it didn't put it on the side that was actually facing outside of the Blu-ray case, so no one knew it was used except for me. So I didn't have to hide it.
because nobody wanted to spend $90 in Jeff City to buy fucking movies. That's too much. They got that at Redbox. Sorry for anybody listening, Jeff City, but we are surrounded by rednecks. Yeah, Kingsman, man. It's that good.
Holy shit, we got off track.
Yeah, we did.
But I mean, not really, because how many times did they reference James Bond in this movie?
I don't know if did they directly reference James Bond in the movie?
Fuck yeah.
Well, they talk about this classic spy movies and stuff. But
And they even said, like, James Bond. And when Eggsy said, or was sitting with Arthur in his final challenge or whatever, he asked, what's the dog's name? He goes, JB. He's like, oh, James Bond? He goes, no, Jack Bauer.
Okay.
So they directly referenced James Bond twice.
That's funny.
Well, I like the fact that we all know he was inspired by James Bond, probably more the Roger Moore series of him than anything, because that's where all the kooky, crazy gadgets came into play.
Oh yeah.
But I like the fact that it's inside of an actual tailor shop. So you go in, he turns a little frame or whatever.
You don't get that in the graphic novel. I
No.
kept on waiting.
None of that happens in the graphic novel.
The graphic novel is so straightforward with this thing. It's like, we are Secret Service, here's our badge, we get out of jail free. And they flash it to the cops all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's really cut and dry. It's just really, like, there was no finesse.
This just goes to the prowess and the mystique of Matthew Vaughn. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, he's Guy Ritchie's bitch, basically, for a period of time, but...
Then he came out with Layer Cake.
Layer Cake. I made Amanda watch that last couple weeks.
Didn't he do
last
Snatch?
week. No, that's Guy Ritchie.
That's a Guy Ritchie. That's a good one too, though.
Yeah. But yeah, Matthew Vaughn, who's maybe directing Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, it's rumored.
That's as long as he flies through the air and he goes, bruv, and then just takes off. He goes, Governor, bruv.
Henry Cavill slips back into his British accent for a minute.
Oh, could you? That'd be amazing. Just a little line drop somewhere.
Even if it's in like a blooper.
I would love it. Where he goes up to Batman and he goes, good game, bruv. Just
and just like flies off. Batman's like, what the fuck?
You want to know what my greatest secret is, Bruce? What? I'm British.
I'm British. It's a lie. But yeah, you don't get any of that, but I agree, man. The
Could you imagine his cape is the fucking Union Jack?
Oh, that'd be funny. Alternate universe, man.
Well, I mean, it's like Red Sun, but
he lands in the.
Give us the class. What's the classic German salute?
He does the Hitler
He does the
thing.
Hitler, yeah.
Oh,
but yeah, so
shit.
this whole thing is based out with Galahad. He runs this tailor shop.
And Galahad doesn't run it. Actually, in the movie, the way they explain is that Kingsmen were actually tailors, and they were very wealthy. And with World War I, a lot of their heirs went to fight in this war, and they died. So these older, wealthy men had all this money, and they were going to lose it.
Yeah.
And so that's when they started Kingsmen, and they put their mass wealth to creating an independent espionage agency, which became Kingsmen.
Never explained in a graphic novel.
Nope.
Well, no, because it's my understanding, at least in the graphic novel, they're just MI6 agents.
Basically. So.
And this is way cooler.
Oh, this is way cooler. Super secret service.
Which makes me wonder, if they're an independent espionage agency, everything they're doing is technically illegal.
Well, as long as they're working with the
British government.
Okay from the British government, whatever.
I'm sure that's one thing that Arthur does.
Well, Arthur
King's.
makes a comment about that whenever after they're done with everything with Valentine, because Harry filmed everything with his glasses.
Oh, he said it turned over to the proper authorities.
Proper authorities.
Yeah.
So,
of course, that was a lie.
Well, yeah, but the point being that
he still has connections with the
It was
government.
believable for Eggsy to accept that as a
Yeah.
So Eggsy gets recruited into this thing. They go through a series of tests. The water test where they flood the room, not in the graphic novel. Eggsy realizes that the two-way mirror breaks everybody out. But Merlin is giving these tests, which is Mark Strong.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I like that